Hey everybody, Mac Tomasa here, back with Diablo 3, and this time I got the monk on board, and I got a pretty awesome build I like for him. I call it the Suppressionist because it basically suppresses all the mobs around you. Um, I started leveling him from 60 to 70 using basically Exploding Palm build because it was pretty effective and it allowed content to really dictate the damage as it did before. Um, Although it wasn't really survivable. Um, this allows use of some DPS moves and survivability moves all together and keeping some mobility. So we're sticking with the crippling wave and we're using the concussion rune. So the crippling wave does pretty decent damage, and every third hit it hits everything within 11 yards around you. So it's a nice little AoE, and it slows their movement speed by 30% and attack speed by 20%. And with concussion, enemies hit with a crippling wave deal 20% less damage for 3 seconds. Pretty much important to dual wield with this build. You can do a one-hander and a sword just as long as you got a really fast attack speed. Dual wield really maximizes that attack speed, so you can keep this going more than all 3 attacks within 3 seconds is basically the primary goal. In fact, to spam that third attack, get that hopefully going once a second. Keeping Sweeping Wind, Master of Wind, I just love the rune. I love the ability. It's AoE damage, nice little vortex within 10 yards. Gives you an idea of how big 10 yards is. 11 yards hits a little bit bigger than that, so everything around you that's the Sweeping Wind size is again going to be hit by that crippling wave. And this is an extra 90% weapon damage every second once it maxes out. And it has a sustained vortex. It does cold damage, which chills, which is a very nice addition. With this build, because we're going suppression, we're using Mantra Conviction with Intimidation. Basically, that gives us 10% increased damage to everything within 30 yards, and everything within 30 yards deals 15% less damage. So we've now upped our ante to 35% less damage. I used a Mystic Ally with Earth Ally. Stat-wise, once you start really gearing yourself out, you get massive amounts of health, and that 20% is a huge boost. Another choice would be the Enduring Ally, because that 100% heal is a huge boost also. So you can go back and forth. A lot more damage with the Earth Ally, a lot more survivability with the Enduring Ally. That's all optional. I use Dashing Strike with Quicksilver. You could use Serenity or whatever button you want to use. I like Dashing Strike because it gets me out of the way of anything that I don't like being in. And I have 3 of those charges with Quicksilver. It lets you move 50 yards. It's pretty handy to have. A little bit limited when it comes to wallers. They can prevent you from getting out of that area. However, so far, like I said, we have limited that damage by 35%. It will affect their AoEs and everything that they're put on the ground if you're hitting those mobs. And our big damage dealer is going to stay Lashing Tail Kick, Scorpion Sting. That's giving us an 85% chance to stun everything, and a pretty decent damage dealer of 624% weapon damage as Lightning. For defense, I took Guardian's Path because I'm dual wielding. It's putting my dodge at 40%, so I also get to avoid 40% of the dodge. Resolve is giving us another big chunk of damage reduction. So we just went from 35 to 55% damage reduction. It's pretty massive. You are suppressing everything that's going on. Groups will love you. Seize the initiative because the armor boost is massive and it's just really good. And then because we are using a spirit burner and we're getting that third hit in pretty fast. We're dual wielding or maximizing attack speed with it. Mythic rhythm. Every third hit from a spirit generator increases the damage of your next spirit generator spender by 40%, so that's increasing our Scorpion Sting even more, and that's where we're getting some of our DPS out of. So we are suppressing the damage around us, and we are actually suppressing the damage quite far away from us, and we're also increasing our damage at the same time. It's pretty handy. Stat-wise for the monkeys, doing pretty good. Or she's doing pretty good. 150k self-buff damage and almost 9 million toughness. I crafted most of that gear, and I got a couple drops that are actually... No, actually I only got one drop that's over level 60. That's a set item. The Traveler's Pledge, it's pretty nice. And everything else was crafted. And actually these swords were really nice to be crafted. And that's about it. So I do have a high life per second, a low life per hit, and a high life per kill. So suppressing the damage, that's going to sustain me that high life per second. That's also where that other enduring ally could come into effect over the Earth ally. A nice little oh no button heals you to full. I'm sitting at 627,000 health, so to heal 627,000 health every 50 seconds isn't a bad thing. So it's definitely personal preference. Sitting a little low on what I would like to have for resistol. I like it a little higher. My armor's okay, but mind you, this is reducing damage that's already been reduced, hopefully by 55%. So I'll show it in action, and we'll go do Halls of Agony over here and kill the butcher. No real buff to put into place, everything's already up. What's nice is all you have to do is just start attacking to really get to go into effect. If you don't want to take the arcane damage, you just move out of it, which is exactly what I just did. And you just move around when they set up their little arcanes. They're probably about the worst thing that's going to happen to you. And the walls get in the way. What's nice is the walls can be in the way. Your sweeping wind is still damaging them. So as long as you're still damaging them, they're still getting their damage reduction happening. And now we'll start throwing in the stun, and that throws in our spirit generator or burner, and that really offsets some extra damage happening. So before, that was all just with crippling wave. That's how effective it can be. And that's not too bad. That's about the worst you're going to get in a mob, is all that stuff in a very small space. Oh, we got another pack already? Alright. Oh, I got my bracers on. I have bracers that summon a pack every time I get a shrine. So you can see this pack is by far easier. It's Thunderstorm, Jailer, Fast, Orbiter. Not one single problem. As I mentioned before, the Waller Arcane is probably the worst to get. And it was a Desecrator too. Oh, I already got an arrow saying this way. Didn't see that. You can see it's nice having all this point-blank area effect stuff going on here. The Mantra of Conviction is far enough reaching that it's suppressing the range damage. Sweeping Winds, making sure everything's doing less damage. I did run it with a shield for a while, but I like a little bit more risk and a lot more DPS with the two-handers. Probably not going to get this guy. They have way too much hit points. 363 million hit points in 5 seconds is pretty hard to do. So that's what the Earth Ally does. It rolls around, gives you massive amounts of hit points. If you want to go safer, you just go with the Enduring. You do have less hit points. I don't have 600,000 anymore, I got 530. That's how many hit points that other one was giving me. 110,000 hit points. A lot of hit points. So I don't know if you saw the wizard video. I don't know how much of the damage I can just sit there and take. I've never actually done this before, so I just got 70 with the monk. Takes a little bit to get to 70 now. Well, charge doesn't hurt much. The slam hurts a little bit. I think I stunned him out of the charge. That's interesting to be able to do. I don't know what happened there. Server lag, maybe. did try the Monk's new skill. Did not like it. The healing one's alright. It's basically like a full heal too. If you use the healing one, the damage one just shoots a fireball like once a second. It's not that great. If it actually did what it said, where all your attacks do 325% extra fire damage, that would have been awesome. But it doesn't. And it's on such a long cooldown for such little effects, except for the healing one. That's a lot of healing. But in group play, that might be pretty awesome. Keep charging to him, trying to interrupt it, but he pushes me back far enough that I can't interrupt his charge sometimes. I was beginning to go berserk. You can see I can suppress the damage that he does by enough that the Templar alone can heal me. Obviously, if this was a group, the Templar wouldn't be able to heal me. You could probably swap in Transcendence and heal a lot of health, because you're always spending spirit, because you're spamming the kick, lash and tail kick. And so you can see, even if you doubled my DPS, you would not be burning down this boss fast enough with a low toughness. You really need that toughness there. You can sustain a fight forever with toughness. You cannot do it with DPS. What's nice with all these hit points, you can let your globe go so low. It's usually more than enough, long enough for you to get that cycle time on your health globe, your health potion back again. Yeah, no worries. I haven't even hit my full heal yet with the Mystic Ally, which I could have done. There it was. That's the Butcher. Definitely a lot harder than it was with the Wizard. Very doable. Together, it's crazy because the damage is just so suppressed by this guy, and all those stuns, the Wizard just lays into him like he doesn't even exist, and the guy dies in a heartbeat. If you're just kind of curious, I actually don't have only one kind of decent piece of good gear. It's not even a 70 legendary, it's a 68. Everything else is crafted, and it's mostly just dex, vitality, resistance, and armor. This is my main goal. This one's nice, it's got Wave of Light. This has got dash and strike damage. I don't really care about that. Crippling wave damage I do care about. I wish it had resist all. It had a socket, so I put resist all gem in it. This has resist all and lash and tail kick damage. These rolled really nice. It has life per kill. I'd rather have life per hit. This has area damage on it. Very nice. Life per kill. I'd rather have life per hit, but I take what I get. Again, dex, vitality, resistance, dex, vitality, armor, and that's what you got to do to get your toughness up there, and your dex, your damage will come. These are decent weapons, not as sick as they probably will be, but they are pretty decent. So you see, your damage isn't going to go through the roof. As you expect. Once you get fully geared in legendaries, it probably will. But I would imagine 100,000 in damage and 5 million toughness per Torment level is probably what you're going to look for in minimals. So, that's the Suppressionist monk. Hope it helps. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll talk to everybody later.